Chapter 12 Friction as a Force. What is frictional force? A ball rolling on the ground slows down after some time and eventually stops. Have you ever wondered why this happens? Similarly, a bicycle gradually comes to a halt when you stop pedaling it. This occurs due to a force known as the frictional force or friction that opposes the motion of objects. Frictional force comes into play only when an object moves or tries to move over another surface. Friction also produces heat. Our elders always advise us to be careful while walking on wet floor. Do you know why? Because it is very easy to slip or fall while walking on a wet floor. Have you ever noticed that you tend to not slip easily while walking on a dry floor? A moving car slowly comes to an halt when its engine is turned off. These observations indicate the presence of a force that opposes the motion of objects. This force that causes moving things to slow down and stop is called frictional force or friction. For instance, a man is pushing a car by applying a force on it. As the man pushes the car, a force acts in the opposite direction of the motion of the car. This opposing force is called frictional force. It opposes the motion of the object and tends to stop or slow it down. Some examples of friction. Friction helps us to walk. If there was no friction, then we would have slipped while walking. Then it is the friction between a pen and a paper that allows us to write. An eraser uses friction to rub off mistakes. Remember, you should not slide while walking. Friction due to sliding produces heat that can damage shoe soles. Also, you should slip and harm yourself. You should always walk while lifting your feet. Now we are going on the next page, which is page number 134. Car brakes can be applied because of friction. He can hold and lift different objects such as pens, tumblers, and utensils due to the friction. Activity 1. Walk in pairs. Sit on the floor some distance away from your partner and roll a ball on the floor towards him casually. Ask your partner to stop the rolling ball. Can you identify which force helped the ball to start rolling? Now roll the ball on the ground in some other direction so that there are no obstacles in the path of the ball. What do you observe after a while? The obstacles in the path. Did the ball stop rolling after moving some distance? Which force helped the ball to stop rolling? What do you understand from this activity? Activity 2. Stand on one side of a heavy table. Push the table. Did the table move at once or did it take some time to move? Why do you think this happened? How can we reduce friction? Smooth surface. A raw surface offers greater friction than a smooth surface. Friction can be reduced by making the surfaces smooth. For example, when you roll a ball on a smooth surface, it covers a larger distance in comparison to when it is rolled to a rough surface. Friction is thus reduced in between the two surfaces by increasing the smoothness. Some of the methods to reduce friction are given below. Use of lubricants. The substances that are used to reduce friction by smoothing the two surfaces in contact with each other are called lubricants. Substances such as oil, cream, talcum powder, and grease are a few examples of lubricants. Friction in door hinges sometimes make the door squeak. Putting a few drops of oil reduces friction and the squeaking sound disappears. Similarly, we sprinkle talcum powder on a carom board. The powder reduces the friction between the striker and the carom board. Polishing of surfaces. Rough surfaces such as the surface of wood used to make furniture are polished to make them smooth. This also reduces the friction offered by these surfaces. Activity 3. They collect 2 toy cars. Find 2 different surfaces to slide these cars. Say carpet and table. Slide the cars along these surfaces. With the help of a stopwatch, note the time that each car took while traveling on these surfaces. Measure the distance traveled by each car with the help of a measuring tape. The car that moves on the carpet covers a smaller distance as compared to the car that moves on the table. Now spread some sand on the floor. Push the toy car over the sand. The car moves slower on the sand. This activity demonstrates that rougher the surface, greater the friction, and smoother the surface, lesser is the friction. Lesser is the friction. So now, lesser is the friction. So now, let's continue. Leonardo extraordinary minds. Leonardo da Vinci was the one who realized the importance of friction for the working of machines. He was among the first scholars who studied friction systematically. He also differentiated between sliding and rolling friction. What are the different uses of friction? Friction helps us in many ways in our day-to-day life. Here are a few examples. Friction helps us to walk. Friction between our feet and ground enables us to grip the ground. In the absence of friction, we could slip and fall. Next page. Vehicles such as two-wheelers, cars and buses can move forward because of the friction between the tires and the surface of the road. Friction helps in stopping the moving vehicles by applying brakes. For example, when we apply brakes while cycling, the bicycle stops. The friction between paper and pen enables us to write. Without friction, the pen would keep slipping. Friction enables us to hammer a nail into the wall or any wooden surface. Without friction, the nail would keep on slipping. Friction enables us to hold and lift different objects such as pen, paper, tumbler, etc. A matchstick lights up due to the friction between the head of the matchstick and the lighting surface. What are the harmful effects of friction? Too much friction causes heavy loss of energy. There are some harmful effects of friction. Friction produces a lot of heat while running machines. Friction causes wear and tear, moving parts of machines, shoes and tires. Machines produce noise due to friction. Friction between the branches of trees during dry summers produces sparks and eventually leads to forest fires. Friction causes a lot of trouble when sliding a heavy object on the floor. Wonderment. As such as tires catch fire due to heat generated by the air friction while entering the Earth's atmosphere. Round table. Discuss why fires produce while rubbing two stones together. Hands in action. When we join our hands together, there is no resistance, so no friction is produced. However, when our hands come in contact and move against each other, they produce friction. Friction produces heat. Therefore, when we rub our cold hands, it causes us to feel warmer. During winter, this helps us to keep our hands warm. Walk through. Frictional force or friction is a force that opposes the motion of objects. Frictional force or friction